YouTube family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, man, go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, bam! I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. Yo, fam, so check it. Do me a favor. Down below, you will see the link to the 2A in LA official merchandise website. If you want some 2A in LA gear, that is the place to go. And also, fam, if you look down below as well, hit that join button for a minor fee, fam. You get access to all things 2A in LA. Pre-release video, you get access to all of the major giveaways that we do every year. Fam, don't miss out. All right, back to the video. All right, let's get this episode rolling. Fam. We have got an incredible video for you today, as you can see from the intro. Look, if you have seen my 2011 collection, you know I have, all the 2011s. I have all the 2011s. But if you look at it overall, you'll know that for a collector like me, there was a glaring absence from my collection. And that is, I did not have a race gun. And that is, it was somewhat intentional. I always had plans to add a race gun to my collection. There have been several opportunities over the course of the last several years where I could have gotten one, but prioritized other guns instead. But the thought process was I would definitely get me a race gun. Now, my guy, Team Blacksmith, is a race gun aficionado. He has several different race guns, probably 5 or 6 different race guns. I did not, that's really a rabbit hole I did not want to go down, but I did feel like I wanted to get at least one to round out my collection. And I was intending to get an Atlas gun where it's chaos, but Atlas discontinued the chaos a while back, and probably for the best, because if I'm only gonna have one, fam, if I'm only gonna have one, I might as well get the best. And that is your boy's Infinity Silver Ghost, fam. What I'm gonna need you to do is stop playing with your boy. 3 comps, 4 ports, fam. Infinity just does it, fam. Even on their race guns, which is strictly meant to be a competition pistol for the most part, the attention to detail is second to none. The aesthetics are just off the charts good. And I was able to pick this up from Infinity directly via, it was one of their picture guns. And so I was able to get it in my hand way faster than the normal kind of 6 to 9 months wait period that you typically wait once you win a drop. And so shout out to Infinity for that. Now, look, I got to shout out Infinity for a lot of stuff. I got to shout out Infinity for a lot of stuff. Number one, blessing me with the opportunity to pick up the picture gun of this bad boy. That was just awesome. Awesome. And, I've become good friends with the team over there. Shout out to Peyton and shout out to Brandon, who always look out for me whenever they can. So, their support does not go unnoticed. The other thing they did, fam, is they hooked your boy up with this Silver Ghost cup. Stop playing with Infinity. This little thermos cup. Fam, look. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of coffee and water drink out of this bad boy right here. Maybe some other beverages, you know. You know. They also hooked your boy up with some Infinity merch, so I appreciate that. But then none of this was expected. None of this was asked for. This is just Infinity looking out for your boy. And then I got this in the mail, and I was like, wow. Wow. Blown away. Look, this is one of them things where if you know, you know. If you are not familiar with the Apex Predator holster, this is one of the preeminent competition holsters out there on the market. These are expensive. they are well constructed. I kind of had my eye on picking one of these up, but my good friends at Infinity beat me to it. And look, fam, not only did they just hook your boy up with the holster, they hooked your boy up with a customized Silver Ghost holster. Stop playing with your boy. I got it sitting on my competition rig, fam. Thanks so much to Infinity. If you can see, it's got the ghost pattern. Obviously, it's in that silver ghost color, that silver color, very reminiscent of the ghost. Look, fam. Yeah. Yeah, fam. Loving all of the support from Infinity Firearms. Again, shout out to the team over there. Look, before we get into the review, let's head over to the desktop and talk about my Infinity Silver Ghost chambered in 38 Super Comp. All right, fam. Welcome to the Tactical Formulary Work Desk. Let's show clear. So look, fam, this is your boy's Infinity Firearms Silver Ghost. This is an open class 2011 chambered in 38 Super Comp single action recoil operated double stack 2011. It's got a modular frame, sight tracker. It is 3 comped and 4 ported. Barrel length is 5.4 inches. Made out of billet steel. Slide, steel frame, steel grip module, polished silver finish. It's got an Infinity modular grip on it. Optic ready, obviously has that gas pedal on it, fitted with an SRO. This gun is designed to get you into major power factor, and this has all Infinity internals. Look, fam. The details on this gun are just incredible. First of all, that grip is stunning. You can see the mag release with the texturing on it, the texturing on the slide stop, and the gas pedal. It's got that racker on it. Makes it super easy to rack. You can see all the etchings on the slide. I just think, man, Infinity just does a beautiful job. It's got that kind of peekaboo hammer where once you press it, the hammer disappears into the slide. Look, fam, as race guns go, this is one of the most beautiful race guns out there that I have seen. Like I said, Infinity just kills it. I'm loving the looks and feel of this firearm. Look, I've only had one gun score 100 in the history of the channel. I think the Silver Ghost could be taking a whack at that. So let's get into the review. Okay, fam, look, we're back. Hopefully you appreciated the Tactical Formulary tabletop review, but let's get into the actual review. Now, if you've never seen a 2A and LA review, kind of goes like this. 0, lowest possible score imaginable. Never had a gun get a 0. 100, highest possible score imaginable. Only had one gun in the history of the channel get 100. But look, we could have a contender today. We could have a contender today. If you get something 50 to 60, that's right down the middle. Gonna go bang every time. Very reliable, just not a lot of feels and thrills. Something 60 to 70, that gun may have a feature or two that separates it from the mean. You get something 70 to 80. Okay, now you're cooking with a little bit of gas. That gun has some additional features that really make it stand out. You get something kind of 80 to 89. Now we're talking about a best-in-class type firearm, especially if it's 85 to 89. And you get something 90 and above, that's grail gun status. All right, fam, let's start off with fit and finish. I'm already going over the specs in the tabletop review, but I can tell you, fam, look, it's Infinity. It's Infinity. The fitment on this gun is amazing. Slide to frame fit, tight, barrel lockup, tight, grip to frame fit, incredibly tight. There are no rough edges anywhere to be found on this firearm. The coating, that silver polish, is beautifully done. Look, fam, Infinity just does it right. And like I said, the attention to detail. If somebody asks me, Alan, you know, what makes Infinity stand out from other manufacturers out there? I'd say there are other people whose manufacturing process is arguably just as good. Other people whose, you know, have comparable fit and finish, but the aesthetic of Infinity gun and their attention to detail in their design work is bar none, I think, the best out there on the marketplace. The gun is stunning. It is stunning. Now, some people feel like some of their designs are kind of way out there. You know, some of their designs are not me, but I appreciate the fact that they offer that kind of variety. And whether you are somebody who likes your guns aesthetically to look way out there on the edge, they've got you covered. If you like designs that are a little bit more conservative, they have you covered there. I think the Silver Ghost design is just spectacular. And like I said, the fit and finish on the gun is just top notch. Fit and finish, 15 out of a possible 15. All right, fam, next up, reliability. So this is an area that's a little bit tricky because I think the gun itself is very, very reliable. However, and this gets into kind of one of the drawbacks of the gun as a whole, not necessarily with Infinity, but just the 38 Super Comp platform. I remember when my man Team Blacksmith picked up his Infinity 38 Super Comp race gun, he struggled finding ammunition that would cycle through the gun reliably until he called Infinity and asked what they test with. And Infinity told them, hey, we test all of our guns with Elite 38 Super Comp 124 grain ammo. And so, having had the benefit of having my man already go through it, I went straight to Illy out of the rip. Well, I think he got his a couple years back. You know, the landscape in the ammunition industry has shifted. And right now, Elite Ammo is really kind of the only game in town for 38, if you're looking for production grade 38 Super Comp ammo. And so, you know, one of the things that you should be concerned about is this consolidation if you're thinking about getting a 38 Super Comp gun. If Ely for some reason decides to stop making them, or they go out of business, or whatever the case may be, now you don't really have a reliable source for this ammo. So I loaded up. I bought thousands and thousands of rounds just in case. So I'm going to keep a lot of 38 Super Comp Ely ammo in stock. But that's something you should consider. I would also say that most people who are running a 38 Super Comp, a lot of them are loading their own rounds. And so If that's not something that you're interested in doing or something that you want to do, again, another thing to consider when you are running this gun. And, you know, in talks with different people about Elite ammo, while it is kind of the industry standard and the only one in the industry standard, there are some, it's production ammo, right? There is very little QC for production ammo. They just run it. And so consequently, if the loads are a little bit inconsistent, it could have reliability issues, because this is a Ferrari. It is finely tuned. To have rounds that are not custom made and tuned for your specific 38 comp gun could result in some reliability issues. And you know, when I was running it, it was almost flawless. I think, and I'm still in the break-in period. I got 1,000 rounds to it, but in like the first 100 rounds or so of the gun, I think I had 2 or 3 stovepipes. And then once I got through that, the gun just started humming. It just started humming. But I do think that reliability is somewhat of a concern. Not because of the gun, just because of the nature of the round. And so for reliability, we're going to give it a 14 out of a possible 15. Next up, durability. Look, this gun is polished steel. It is a weighty girl. It is more back end heavy. I think a lot of people would look at it and think it's more front end heavy, but it's back end heavy because of that grip module and the mag well. It is built like a tank. It is built like a tank. Look, Infinities. When you start talking about the Infinities of the world, the Atlases of the world, the Venoms of the world, the Hayes, the Rafferties, these are heirloom pieces. These are pieces that are meant to last and last and last and have a lifetime warranty. I remember talking to Adam at Atlas, and he was saying, yeah, you know, we expect your guns to get 150,000 rounds through it in a lifetime. What? 150,000. I'm sure Infinity. I haven't asked Brandon this, and I gotta ask him. I'll ask Brandon. Like when they're building the gun, what do they estimate like the round count to be? When you have a gun that's more percussive like this, more violent like this, that's loaded this way, these guns are going to last less than people who are shooting minor factor ammo. The 38 Super Comp is a major factor, right? So if you just got a standard minor 9mm, those guns are going to last longer just because of the round. But that's it. I mean, this gun should last your lifetime, your kids' lifetime, your kids' lifetime. Look, it is built to last. For durability, we're going to give it a 15 out of a possible 15. All right, fam. Next up, trigger. Fam. If you watch my channel, you know I have raved about Infinity triggers. There is something about the way an Infinity trigger feels. It is not just the fact that it's very light, because I've seen a lot of manufacturers make a light trigger. It's the overall process. It's the take up, the wall, the glass break, the force reset, that all works together. Fam. Look, you see just a tad bit of take up there. Clear defined wall. Oh me, oh my. Oh mio, oh mayo, oh Cleveland, Ohio. What? Look, reset. Fam, I'll put the trigger weight up there. This trigger is insane. Look, all my Infinity's triggers are stupid good. Stupid good. Look, Infinity triggers are so good, I can never just give them a 15 out of 15. For trigger, this bad boy gets a 16 out of 15. I said it. A 16 out of a possible 15. All right, fam. Next up, accuracy. Fam. I had this discussion when I did the review on my Lucky Devil It's almost not fair. Like, you press the trigger and the bullet goes exactly, I mean exactly where you were aiming it at. I mean, it's ridiculously accurate. Like, and you would think, you expect the luck again. There's a lot of similarities here, but you add to the fact that this gun is 3 comp, 4 ports, all steel, just sight tracker, you name it. It's almost, I said when I did the review on the Lucky Devil that the Lucky Devil was the cheat code. It's like if you playing Madden or something, you put in a cheat code and it gives you superhuman ability. Yes, this is the cheat code as well. For accuracy, I'm going to give this gun a 13 out of a possible 10. Stop playing with Infinity. A 13 out of a possible 10. It's just that, it's different, y'all. It's different. Like, I would consider myself an average shooter. I'm not a high level competition shooter. We talk about this all the time. You know, I never try to overstate my knowledge base. I never try to overstate my skill set. But this gun will have you very similar to the Lucky Devil. This gun will have you looking like you are far better than you are. I was running plate racks in record times. Fam, it doesn't make no sense. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this gun is insanely accurate. All right, fam. Next up, ergonomics. Look, love this Infinity grip module. As you guys know, Infinity makes all their parts in-house, including springs, pins, etc. Look, the gun is weighted beautifully. It feels really good in the hand. You have that Infinity gas pedal there. Look, it just makes shooting this gun a blast. And look, 38 super comp round plus all the comps and port. It is a concussive gun. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Far more concussive than, say, my Rafferty Lucky Devil, for instance. Far more concussive than, say, my Phoenix Trinity Honcho V2. But it's flat. It is flat and it is fast. And that combination of the weight of the gun, the incredible trigger, the comps, the ports, the sight blocker, everything, the gap, everything working together. Whoo-wee! Whoo-wee! Love it, love it, love it. Ergonomically, the gun is a 10 out of a possible 10. All right, fam, these next two categories, we're going to lump them together. Aftermarket support, maintenance and upkeep. Look, ton of aftermarket support in the 2011 market, but for this gun, it really doesn't matter because there is nothing that you would want to do to change this. Anything you possibly would want, Infinity would do it for you. But just relative to support in the 2011 space, we're going to give that a 4 out of possible 5. And maintenance and upkeep, yeah, you got to break this down and keep it clean. This is literally a race gun. This is literally a race gun. You got to keep them ports cleaned out, keep the comps, break the gun down, keep it oiled. This is like, you know how, I laugh when people are like, if I pay that much money for a gun, I shouldn't have to do anything. That is not how it works, fam. Think about Formula One race cars, right? They go a few laps and they got to go into the pit to get tires changed and this done, that done, and this. Fam, you got to keep the tires changed. You got to keep the tires changed. You got to change the oil. You got to do all the things on a regular basis to keep this bad boy humming. But when it's humming like nobody's business. 100%. So look, 4 out of 5 for aftermarket support, 4 out of 5 for maintenance and upkeep. Next up, fam, affordability. I'll go ahead and I'll put the MSRP up there. Look, fam, it's not expensive. It's not inexpensive. It's a little grip. It's a little grip. It's a cheap car. For real. For real, for real. It's a used vehicle up in this camp, but it is amazing, amazing shooter. I'm happy to splurge for this one race gun that's going to be in my collection. Now look, my mind could change at some point in the future, but I believe I have scratched this itch, and I scratched it with arguably one of the best race guns out there. But yeah, affordability, it only gets a 1 out of a possible 5. Last but not least, fam, flex. It's Instagram. Yep, all the things. Instagram is gonna go crazy. All the honeys gonna want to shoot your gun. All the range officers are gonna be jealous. Hate is gonna seep through the pores of all the haters out there. And believe me, I've experienced it firsthand. But I don't care. What? Flex points 7 out of a possible 5. You heard me. 7 out of a possible 5 for flex. The fact that it's an Infinity, flex. The fact that it's all steel with aesthetics that are top notch, flex. The fact that it is a rare race pistol, 38 Super, flex. All the things, fam. The fact that I got it before the rest of the field got the flex, flexing everywhere. 7 out of a possible 5 for flex points for the Infinity Silver Ghost. All right, fam, look, you add all of that up, you get a 99 out of a possible 100 points. The second highest total in the history of the 2ANLA channel. Look, fam, Infinity ain't for play. It is not for play. I now have 4 Infinity Firearms. I think the lowest scoring one was like a 97 or something. I think they're all like 97, 98, 99, whatever in that range. Stupid good. Beautiful firearms that operate incredibly well, that are manufactured top notch. Look. With the best triggers in the game, the Infinity Silver Ghost scores a 99 out of a possible 100. This gun is incredible. Now look, fam, we're not done with Infinity. If you guys haven't seen the interview I did with Brandon Strayer, make sure you go back and watch that, because I feel like he gives incredible insight. If you want to get into the mind of the man that helps design all of these firearms, who, you know, takes a concept and brings it into reality, who will talk about how the mindset is to manufacture his guns, talks about the industry, outlook on the industry. That's a great interview. Make sure you go back and check that out. And not to stop there, I'm going to get out to the Infinity headquarters to do a face-to-face interview with Brandon, tour the Infinity factory for you guys, and you know, we could have a project in the works. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, that's it for this episode, fam. Until next time, as always, take care of one another and peace.